everything. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you how this is gonna go down. I'm gonna bring out our lovely guests, and I'm going to ask them just a few quick questions myself because we already have a line. And then I'm gonna turn the questions over to our lovely, who could it be? It's a complete surprise, guys. You didn't see that, don't worry. I only have a few rules for my panels. My first rule is one question at a time. If you have 2 questions, you are more than welcome to get to the back of the line and try and ask your second question. But because we have such a big line, we are only going to do 1 question at a time. My second rule is no requests. No, Grant, I make homemade hot sauce. Will you try it right here, right now on stage so I can take a video of your reaction and post it on TikTok? No, he cannot. No, Danielle, I just learned how to dance. Can I teach you how to Dougie? No, you cannot teach her how to Dougie. They are very nice people. I'm sure they will say yes to any request that you have, but I will be the bad guy and I will say no for the sake of the Q&A. They will be at their booths though, so please go ask your requests to your heart's content while they're at their booths, but while they're up on this stage, there will be no requests. My third rule for group panels is try and keep your questions as inclusive to all the members on the stage as possible. I know sometimes that doesn't work out, but please try and keep that in mind. And last and most importantly, have fun. Is anybody a fan of a little show called The Flash? Luckily you're in the right place. I would love to bring out our wonderful guests. Up first, please give a warm round of applause for Tom Cavanaugh. A complete and total surprise. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, there we go. And that's our panel, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. And then up next, we have the wonderful Danielle Panabaker. Welcome to my IKEA set. Thank you for being here today. We have Carlos Valdes. Welcome, welcome. We have John Wesley Shipp. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, please give a warm welcome to Grant Gustin. Thank you all for joining me. Now we play musical chairs. Who's gonna sit where? Oh, you wanna sit? You are definitely welcome to sit there. No, you can sit wherever you want. I can sit in the middle of everyone. Oh no! Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome.
So when I first got this job,
No, take it away! Take it away!
that's all I got.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being our first panel of the day. This crowd is insane for the first panel of the day. Welcome to Richmond. Is it anybody's first time in Richmond here today? Oh, nice. Have you been able to go out and see the city at all?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Normally at these conventions, they're like black holes where you like see the table, see your hotel room, see the concourse. You slept on the concourse. That's dedication to the fans.
Well, actually, right as we were about to come in, Lois pointed out there's a sign that's like, "You are in Richmond, Virginia," which is a good reminder because sometimes, like, you could be anywhere.
You could be anywhere.
You're at a convention.
I don't know where you are.
There are also multiple GalaxyCons, and I do multiple GalaxyCons sometimes weeks in a row. There's one in Raleigh. Has anybody been to the one in Raleigh? Very close.
Great club.
Very close. So sometimes I'll be like, GalaxyCon, rah, Richmond! Which is unfortunate.
So
but
the sign is for you.
the sign is definitely for me. Yes. Well, thank you all for joining me today. Normally I would ask you all a few questions myself. However, this line is crazy. So I might throw it to the guest questions and then pop back to me so we can get through a few of them. So go right ahead, my dear Starlight. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
I'm Madeline. I saw you all yesterday. You're all very lovely people. The Arrowverse is famous for the crossovers. If you could do a crossover with the Muppets, do you think your character would stay human or turn into a Muppet?
For
Sure. She would be the cutest Muppet.
Well, in my suit, particularly the 1990 suit, I was practically a Muppet already. A Muppet.
Yeah, spiritually, Cisco is a Muppet. Yeah, thank you.
I think I just have to be
You'd be you, I
in a
think.
suit.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
a human in the
Sure.
world, probably, yeah.
Sure. I think that'd be great for you.
Trying to get everybody.
Guys, do you see what Grant look? Doesn't Grant look great? He just looks great, I think. And by the way, that's a heck of a starter question.
I agree. It was like, good morning.
Good luck, everybody trying to top that, Danielle. Oh, okay. Yeah, Muppet for sure.
Grant would be the one human in the Muppet.
I feel like I would be the guy, the Muppet that antagonizes this guy. That would be that guy.
Would be.
You could be a human too, like the human villain.
Sure.
You could just be reversed.
I could just be the reverse villain, yeah.
Great
Just a
question.
bad guy. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello there.
Hello. Oh, I'm not used to hearing my voice. My name's Danielle. Hi. Not Panabaker, unfortunately. This is my cousin CJ.
CJ.
Hello, CJ.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So, first of all, you guys do a great job on the show. We both love it. You guys do a great job of just bringing these characters to life. The Flash and Spider-Man are two of my favorite superheroes. So I want to ask all of you, how do you think Spider-Man and the Flash, or Peter Parker or Barry Allen, like relate to each other?
They would be besties.
Yeah, I do think they'd get along. I mean, one of the things about Barry that's cool is he's such a normal, kind of relatable person. I guess Peter Parker is kind of like that too. But there's versions of Peter where he doesn't actually have powers, right? He like makes his. You guys know the comic books better than me, probably. But yeah, I feel like they'd get along. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely. Two like kind of regular guys.
They're like the only two superheroes I feel like I could play in live action. So
I don't know about that. I feel you're being humble and self-deprecating because I don't know one that you couldn't play.
well, that's a long list. I feel like
Well, all right, which one couldn't you play?
we can start with Batman, Superman, the Hulk.
Yeah, I like my version where you could
Pretty
play.
long list.
This is my default. How do you think they would get along?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a good question.
It's like, I didn't even think about it.
I think both of them just have that, that motivation to just never give up. They both just want to help people in need. So I think in that way, they just relate to each other so much. So
What she
Well
said.
said, well said, well said.
Great question.
thank you.
Danielle.
Nice meeting you all.
Hello there. If the mic, oh, perfect, you got it already. Take it right off. There we
My
go.
name's Lucas. I really like your show. Me and my dad and mom, and my brother, we watched almost all the seasons. So I just have a really simple question for you. What was like the hardest scene for you guys to film?
Lucas, thank you for watching our show, by the way, and your mom and dad. Thank you for indirectly feeding all our families. We're grateful for that. I feel like that when it comes to what's interesting about doing a superhero show is no matter what, at one point during the week, all these actors are going to be in a situation that's not ideal. Let's put it that way. Like we're going to be shooting in the comfort of a sound stage, and it's going to be great. But then at one point, Grant, all these guys are going to be hanging upside down or something in the middle of a rainstorm at 4 o'clock in the morning in the Vancouver forest.
We
And
got
it's gonna be-
stuck in Stanley Park and they couldn't get any of the vehicles out. That was like season 3. You don't remember
Yeah,
this?
I was
Check this out.
So we shoot in the Pacific Northwest where there's sideways rain and sleet and stuff. And these are not complaints because it's a joy basically to be able to overcome these kind of things. But do you guys have any specifics?
No, I mean, the stuff that comes to mind is like things that were technically challenging. Like Danielle did a lot of scenes with herself, and I did a few, and those are tough because there's lock-offs with the camera, and you have to go change wardrobe. Usually, there's an acting double involved, and those are complicated. Yeah.
Also, I heard something similar to the upside down thing, where like Tom Holland, like Spider-Man, he was doing an upside down scene, and his brother like said, and he was like Tom Holland was like complaining that it was like really hard, and his brother said like I could do that. That sounds easy. So he asked the directors to put his brother in like a role where like he was a bad guy, like a criminal, and he was upside down. And he was like upside down for a day. And then like his brother said, "Okay, I get what you mean."
There it is. The empathy. Thank you so much. We've all learned a lesson here. It's not as easy as it seems.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, so we made sure we watched them. Everyone's bills are paid, right? So when I was in college, I watched a show called The Flash, too. I'm old. And I just want to say thank you, John Wesley, Shipp. That was a great...
Thank you. Mostly sober? Well, me too.
It was college,
So.
right? Exactly. What was it like for you when you got the call to come back to The Flash?
Well, I've been the only live-action Flash for 24 years. That's a long time. So I was ready, for it to be passed to the next generation. And when I heard how Jeff Johns had blown up the Allen family, how suddenly Henry was wrongfully convicted of killing Nora in front of a 10-year-old Mary, that was not my origin story. And I thought, if they want to make it completely their own, I'm fine with that. I totally understand that. But if they come to me, that's the role I want. And that's the role they offered. And then they did the bait and switch and turned me into Jay Garrick, which was a lot of fun.
Were you aware that that was going to happen?
No, not until like 2 episodes. I found out from Jesse Martin and Grant. First of all, I was in a costume fitting. I was already out of prison as Henry Allen. I was trying on a ripped brown costume. And the costume designer said, of course you'll be fitted for the Iron Mask separately. And I'm like, the Iron, what? What? Oh my God, I didn't tell you. Then I'm sitting off camera with Jesse and Grant, and they said, did you hear what you're going to be doing this year? I said, yeah, I'm the man in the Iron Mask, go figure. And they're like, yeah, that's all you know?
But we had also just found out, because like poor Teddy Sears didn't even know he wasn't Jay
Poor
Garrick.
Teddy.
He thought he was Jay Garrick.
Never was an actor more excited to play a superhero than Teddy. Only to discover that these guys told me, they said, you're the real Jay Garrick. And so then I had to call Greg Berlanti and say, okay, I'm hearing rumors about roles I may or may not be playing going forward. He was like, oh my God, they haven't talked to you. Because they were right against the gun. What if I had said, no, I don't want to go back into a superhero suit. But when he said I'd be killed as one character at the penultimate episode, I'd be revealed as the doppelganger of his father, who turned out to be the character y'all wanted me to play to begin with, I was like, I'm in.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out. I love the original Flash. The whole family loves the new one. Thank you guys. I'm going to pass it on.
Thanks so much.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm sorry, y'all, but I love the show, but my question is for Danielle. So my favorite movie is Sky High. So I want to ask you, what was your favorite scene to film?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of young actors, and there's some stuff at the high school, like especially the prom stuff. I remember seeing everyone dressed up in their character-appropriate prom dresses, etc. Those were really fun scenes to film, and they felt iconic. You know, Michael lifting the lunch table over his head, like those were special even on the day.
Thank you.
I want to see what I am captain of that ship.
Sequel.
Okay, this is where social media comes into play because they can't ignore all of you. So you've got to get on social media and request it for sure.
I have definitely gotten been as vocal as I can. I mean, y'all see it. I'm trying.
Dolly Parton says if you just start promoting it like it's gonna happen, then it's gotta happen. You just ask for forgiveness.
May we all be like Dolly Parton.
Thank you. Hello there.
Hello. My name's Matt, big fan. Actually just finished the show last week. And I have to ask,
What was it like for you guys having to come up with like the different versions of the characters in the multiple worlds? You know, Council Wells, Keon, etc.
Like that's for y'all. Yeah, you have more experience with that.
And mine was different than Tom's because it was, you know, Frost was around for a long time. And then there was Keon, and she didn't have as much time, and I think you could tell.
I think the main thing was what level of annoyance it triggered in my fellow cast members.
I really hated the
They just didn't know what the hell was going to happen. HR would show up and have coffees for everyone, and they'd be like, "What are we doing?" Or Sheldon would show up, and they'd be like, "Oh God, a whole season of this guy." Super annoying. So I think this speaks more to the tolerance of my fellow cast members putting up with all those characters year after year after year.
The challenging thing for me was when we started, it was father-son, and there were some of the most beautifully written father-son scenes I've ever played, and I played a lot of them. But it was very warm. It was, you know, Henry was the soft shoulder for to lead his head on. I was constantly trying to reflect back to him, you know, how much I loved him and what a fine man I thought he was, superpowers or not. And so we had a relationship like that for like a year and a half, 2 years. Well, suddenly I came out of the Iron Mask, and I was doppelganger of his father, and everybody's looking at me like I have two heads. And so I go, what? You know? And our first coffee shop scene, I'm like, yeah, I look like your dead dad, sorry about that, but here's the deal. What kind of hero are you gonna be? At what point Grant put his head down and just started laughing, and I said, what are you laughing at, man? He said, this is just so weird, feeling this energy coming off of you. But that was, they kept it interesting for us, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
later.
Hi, my name is Ariana. I just want to say I love The Flash so much. I've watched it like 13 times. But this question is mainly for Carlos and Grant. So I saw both you guys on Broadway. I've seen and I'm just wondering what you like better, Broadway or being on TV?
I mean, they're so different.
Like literally can't compare the two. She didn't see you probably.
Sounds like I was also on Broadway.
Thanks for nothing, Ariana.
John was also on Broadway. Danielle, you will be on Broadway. Promote it, remember?
I think like, you know, Broadway stuff is so like demanding on your body and your mind. It's, you know, I probably only really have the energy for it as a young man. So I'm probably, you know, I'm getting old.
Do not even start with me on that.
So probably right now, I probably, you know, I want to get some Broadway in while I have the, you know, not the joint pain. Or the, so that's probably how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, they both offer very different challenges. Broadway, I mean, specifically in musical, like 8 shows a week, and you just gotta drink a lot of water and sleep as much as you can, and really not be that social, which is not that hard for me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, and I'm, you know, based on the West Coast, I have a young family, and we relocated to New York, and you can't like, when you're filming something, you can kind of like, oh, I have 3 days off, and like go somewhere. That's not a thing when you're doing a Broadway show. So it's I don't know, it's not like necessarily harder, but it's like a very different type of challenge.
Oh my God, when I went to your opening night and you were singing and there were moving frame sets going in every different direction and you were climbing up 20 feet in the air singing while the sets were moving, and then you're on top lying on your stomach singing, and there are bowling pins flying across the set. There are knives being thrown. It's jugglers, the whole thing. And I'm like, I hope they have a lot of understudies.
Yeah, it was a kind of, I mean, dangerous show that we made as safe as possible.
Physical.
Let's not forget the guy that went all the way down to the ground every single time.
Right. I don't even. Is that on my show? Whoa, yeah. Yeah.
Imagine, oh no.
Yeah, no, Both very fun, both very different challenges. I hope to do both many, many times the rest of my career.
Thank you so much. Also, for everybody that is standing in the doorway, there are open seats over here if you do not want to stand. But y'all are so popular, people are congregating in the doorway, guys. They're causing a traffic jam. All right, go right ahead, my dear.
They're waiting to see if they like us. Or
Yeah, they're like,
they're not sure.
No, I don't know.
Sky high panel, right?
Yeah. All right, my dear, go right ahead with your question.
Hello, my name is Garrick. And by the way, John, you're not old. You're just time-tested and full of experience.
Definitely time-tested. You got that all right.
I'm a big fan of the show. I love all the other shows and movies you've done other than The Flash, like Yours, Mine, Ours, Glee, and Yogi Bear. So, my question is, all the other crossovers, do you think a crossover with the Power Rangers would be good?
Yes, because my friend Rose MacGyver was the pink Power Ranger, and I would want to work with Rose.
I feel like tonally with what it would almost be like redundant to do a Power Ranger
Show, same show.
But yes, it could work. I feel like tonally it's not too, yeah.
You just write it and we'll come do it?
Yeah.
Send it on over. Next year, if y'all come back, there will be a panel and we can act it out on stage.
Right.
It'll be perfect.
I love the Music Meister episode. I just wish more characters were involved with musical numbers.
We'll make the Power Rangers crossover a musical. Thank you so much. Hello there.
My name's Kyle. I give a good question. Who has a better bento on the show the most?
Say
Best bento.
better
Bento on the
banter
show
on
the
the
most.
show.
It's like pick your flavor, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like it's a pick your flavor situation. I mean,
I agree.
Do you think it's a pick your favorite?
I think usually Tom is involved in the pairs that have the best banter. Although, like, I feel like we had a solid little dynamic too. Like,
That's right.
I mean, Tom. The other
It is.
From the back.
Tom Felton and I. That was a wild card too. That was
Remind me. Felton, remind me. That's so familiar.
Teddy Sears and almost anybody. I mean, Tom, I would say Annie Wells and Cisco is probably the #1 banter.
I got one more.
Yeah.
How do you end up on the lead?
How
Did you end up on Glee?
Yeah.
Very.
Any Glee fans?
All of my experiences getting a job are like not interesting stories. Like I was very normal process. I was on a Broadway tour at the time. I was making audition tapes. I got one for Glee. I didn't get it, and then they asked to see me again a few months later for a different role. I had a callback, and I got it. And then I went to LA and filmed. It's just kind of the normal. I auditioned and I got it. I got lucky.
Darian also ended up on The Flash,
He
right?
did, yeah, and well, and Melissa was, you know, and in our musical episode, Zach Woodley, who's the choreographer on Glee, came and choreographed our musical episode. And yeah, there was a lot of strange Glee connections.
Well, thank you for your
Thank you,
question.
Now, I have a question for everyone. I am Bill Armstrong. I have a history with Grant.
Hold on. So we did a production of, ironically, because I see Willy Wonka sitting right here. Like, what was it called? Willy Wonka, or was it?
It was.
What did we call
Charlie
it?
and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Was
And
the
I
name.
was Charlie. I was 11 years old. This is a community theater in Norfolk, Virginia. where I'm from. And yeah, there's a lot of players, and it was my first lead role of my life. I was Charlie Bucket, and Bill was Grandpa Joe. And he came and saw me yesterday. I haven't seen him probably since I was 13, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay, but the question is, and it's tough for everyone, how did you get started in acting? How did your local areas help you out in everything?
I was community theater too. We started outside Atlanta, Georgia. Just kept doing plays.
You know, my mother is the person that I have to credit for everything. You know, she saw, you know, the fact that I like to entertain and make faces in the mirror and play out scenes from movies that I loved as a kid, and she was like, "You should do this. Let's put you in like a performing arts school, like classes and stuff like that." And one thing led to another, and yeah.
My dad was a Baptist. My dad was a Baptist minister, progressive Baptist minister, and the Baptists, unlike some of the higher churches, if you want to think in that terms, they draw their talent from, for better or for worse, from the congregation. They don't hire professional musicians, and also to do the pageants and plays. So we were constantly being asked to perform in church productions. I actually started studying piano when I was 4 and was an opera theater major at Indiana University of Bloomington. I'm the only person I know who switched to acting because it was easier.
Bill, I think one thing I love about the fact that you and Grant connected back then is like the joy of just doing any production, right? And regardless of like the profile that production has. And Danielle, community theater, church basement theater, anything, insane asylum theater, no joke. But for those of you who are out there who are watching Bill and Grant and any of us and have that same sort of thought that I'd like to try it, that's really, it's nothing can stop you. You just go do it. Even if you think, oh, I could never, and you find like your local community theater or like something big, or you audition for Broadway or whatever the thing is that you try to do, that can lead to doors that open that you didn't think were going to be open. So for anyone out there that just thinks that's for them but not for us, it's for you too. You know, you just go do, you just literally like that's just go do it. And the next thing you know, you're 30 years later, and you're like Charlie in a Chocolate Factory, and it just comes around. The joy keeps coming. It's like a joyful thing. Watching you two, I'll watch Grant. I know he's the Flash, but he moves so fast from behind his table to hug you when he realized it was you. It was just a beautiful moment, and those beautiful moments are out there for all of us.
So you were there for the beginning of my journey, and I remember saying when I was 16 at the Governor's School for the Arts and doing this in high school, I mean, just kind of echoing and building up what Tom said, I always knew this is what I was going to do. I didn't know if that meant I was going to be doing regional theater for my entire life or if I'd make it to Broadway. I never really dreamed I'd be on TV like in my 20s when I was. I mean, I wanted to be someday, but I didn't know how it would come to fruition. And even now at this point in my career, I mean, we did 9 years of Flash and then it ends, and you never know what's next as an actor, but like I also know, I don't know what my next job is, I don't know what the future looks like, but I know I'm not going to pivot and do something else. I'm just going to keep at this, and this is all I want to do, it's all I'm going to do. So I think if you love it, and the people that eventually succeed in any way are the people that just don't give up, just because it's the only thing you want to do.
There's this great quote echoing Grant that I kind of write on my scripts, and the sentiment is this: the quote is by Thomas Edison, and the quote is, "Sticking with it is the real genius." The fact that that's a Thomas Edison quote kind of says everything.
Well, just to steal a line from another production, never give up, never surrender.
So much.
Hello guys, Ronnie. This is kind of a basic question, but I mean, there's obviously a bunch of characters like superpowers in the show. So if you guys could choose any power, what would it be?
Well, I've chosen speed over and over and over, so I'm going to stick with that.
I mean, the thing about the Flash's powers is it's not just speed, you know? So like, I feel like as a kid, and it's still, Superman was always my favorite hero. But there's something about the Flash that it's like, it doesn't stop at speed, and like what comes with it to me makes